Chibode George is live for us. Chibode George now sounds like a medical doctor looking for solution, although he's a retired military man. But his party is in trouble with bloody nose up and down, and the party seems not to have gotten his balance. Chief George, thanks so much indeed for joining us tonight. My worry about opposition party in Nigeria is that in the face of what Nigerians are facing, whether or not your party and in the opposition and the rest are really doing their jobs, but at the moment the party is still fighting for survival because of the internal crisis. But the latest development, the recent issue, the party was so scared, the board of trustees were so scared to hold their meeting at the party headquarters, considering what happened, the scuffling and the punches thrown at the party headquarters. So they had their meeting at Transcorp Hilton. Some of the elders, I'm very sure that they were too scared to stay around that kind of environment. But what kind of situation, and how do you describe that kind of incident that has led to the decision of the BOT holding their meeting outside of the headquarters of the party?
Now, Shehu, thank you very much for having me. Don't let us believe that because the BOT has to hold its meeting at the Nikon Hilton means that the elders are scared. No, there's no reason to adduce that they were scared. Now, they wanted a secured environment. They were, the last experience, they had the two contestants, secretaries that brought their own supporters and all that. So they needed a very secure area that long shots you'll be able to decipher. If you are not coming for that meeting, you will be prevented from going through there. There is another back door to enter the Kano Hall where they held the meeting. So that is not the real issue. The issue is that there is no organization anywhere in the world that will not have some disagreements or crisis. But the ability of that organization to resolve their crisis and emerge as a responsible, respectable organization, which will be a measure of their competence to the public, that is what matters. So the PDP has proven it. And I have no qualms about our ability to manage ourselves and come out, much stronger than before. God didn't say that in your journey of life that it will always be a straight line. There won't be bumps. But as long as you come to a situation where justice, fairness, equity are the issues you will consider as the tripod of your decision, all will be well. We have, crossed the first hurdle, and the issue of who is secretary, it became a legal issue. Ayamu stated that there was a judgment by a court of appeal. Okoye also said there was his own from another court of appeal, court of the same jurisdiction, So it required an expert in this field, in the legal field, to share the meeting, to listen and come to terms and report back to the party. And they needed an environment where there will be some quiet, there will be some sanity. Both who are claiming to be secretaries were not allowed into that meeting. And so it shows that the people who are the elders, the custodians of the laws of the party, the custodian of the real owners of the party, waded in at the appropriate time, and they were able to resolve the crisis. Anything outside that will be a mishap.
Chief
So
George, if I jump
it's
in
not
quickly.
new. I mean, even when we started, we used to hold meetings in Chief Anini's house when he was chairman of the board of trustees.
If I jump
And
in quickly, Chief George, my question
right.
here is the decision
Yes.
made by your colleagues in the BOT, and I imagine that you are being brought up to speed because I know that you've been
Yeah.
out of the country with what your
Yeah.
colleagues are doing in the BOT. Do you
Right.
agree with the stance of the rest of the BOT members in siding with Ude-Okoye to being the national secretary of the PDP?
So far, the facts that they brought, I am completely on board with that. What do you expect the elders to do? The report was clear that there was no counter court of appeal report apart from the one from Okoye. So what do you expect us to do? If Anyanwu decides to go to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court throws out that decision of the Court of Appeal, you will abide by that. But my appeal is this to Anyanwu, is that, like they say in our local parlance, in the north they say kadan kada, in Igbo land we say wayo wayo, in Yoruba land we say tejejeo. We must, a committed member, a loyal member, a dedicated member, where we are now, we should close ranks. A divided house will remain a defeated house. In the interest of his children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, he should just cool it off. Let's go. We have had people who decamped from the party, headed at the national convention. They walked out. They came back. So it's not the end of all the discussions. For the sake of Nigeria, for the sake of our party, for the sake of the future generations of this country, let us turn our bullets, our battle against the government in power. Because if you look at it, we are talking about our power, our parties, these are parties that now, but we will be able to resolve it. But let me take a break. Look at the party in government. Have you heard of any time they have had any national party conference or any party appointees or elected members of their managers of the party? The APC, have they ever held any party meeting since the administration of the current government? No. All you hear is Ganduje, who is the national secretary of their party, who is the national organizing member of their party. All those other positions are not hard. Is there a party, a congregation of strange bedfellows? So when people say, "Oh, PDP is going to be dismembered," I said, "No. It is normal. Any organization, you can disagree, but you must never be disagreeable." And for
But
God's
Chief
sake,
George,
we
let me
are
quickly
heading
add. So
in a
it's as if
direction that will.
yeah, Chief George, it's as if the same Malay that is troubling your party, a similar thing is also troubling the Labour Party. The NNPP, as reported in our roundup, but you feel that your party is even doing better than the APC in terms of internal coordination.
Of course.
As disorganized as your party is on the surface and what we can see, but it does look like you have a feeling that your party is even better than the APC. Is that what you think?
You can bet that. Who after Ganduje, who is the national secretary of the APC? Who is the national organizing secretary of the APC? Where are the other members of the National Working Committee, members of the APC? Where have you had any meeting? Let me tell you something. You see, the beauty of this is that the taproot, the grassroots of the PDP is still completely intact. Otherwise, I would have been so afraid that we are going to completely collapse. If the taproot of the Iroko tree is still deep rooted, only the wind that is blowing the trees at the top. And we are going to resolve it. I believe in the resolution. You meet A, you meet B. Don't discard A, don't discard B. Listen to both sides. And that is what we did. We didn't just take a decision and came to a conclusion. No.
Let me ask you. There are those who are proposing that, look, let Damagum and his colleagues leave the scene. But there are those who say, oh, wait a moment, in July, the tenure will be done. From where you stand, Chief Judge, what do you think would be best? Because at the NEC meeting, I imagine it's going to be fire for fire. How the rest of the party, the NEC, the BOT, will tell Damagun to leave the thing or tell his colleague at the NWC to pack their bags and go, might cause some chaos, don't you think?
That is why you have the elders. That is why, like you said, Agbakiwa Loja Kuriomo Tutuwo. And if an old man sits at the bottom of an Iroko tree and a young man climbs to the top of that tree, what the old man will see, the young man will not see it. We will allow discussions. We will allow debates. We will allow the camaraderie to allow ourselves to exercise our voices. At the end of the day, there will be decision made purely on the legality, the constitution, the directives as laid down by the founding fathers of our party. Because this party is not a private enterprise of any individual. And I have appealed to all sides to calm down. People who are so hell-bent on their personal ambition, you find your way out. If you see, the BOT has the power to tell any member who refuses to listen to sound of reasoning to please take a walk. It is there, and we shouldn't shy away from it. This crisis started from the convention that we had, the presidential convention that we held in Abuja. And we've been saying, please calm down. There are the norms, the procedure of people to emerge as presidential candidate, to emerge as national chairman of the party, and all the other organs of the party. There are rules. And if we flout the rules, I am hoping that we have now learned a lesson, because the manipulation of that convention led us to this mess. And we must avoid it for the sake of the future generation of this country. Now,
Chief Judge,
my friend,
let me ask.
President,
yeah.
Okay.
Do you think your party has been infiltrated?
I can't just jump in and say yes or no. It is possible, because you don't. It's like a police station. You don't shut your doors.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I ask the question is that there are those who think that there is the hand of some fifth columnist. And there are those there is a possibility of external factors or external forces who are troubling the waters in the party. Do you have a sense that, because the reason is, I mean, the effect is going to be far-reaching. You can control the forces within the party, but if there are external factors, you may not be able to control. It's out of your reach.
You know, Sean, when you sit down, when you come to equity, you come with clean hands. When you sit down to discuss, when you sit down uninhibited, if you are serious, you are committed, you are loyal, you are dedicated to the party, we will discuss, we will debate. That is the beauty of democratic organization. When we discuss like that, with intelligence report, people who have been having nocturnal meetings here and there, you're on both sides, on all sides, because people are hungry and they are therefore angry. Some people believe the only way, they have no job, The only job they have is going into politics, play it here, play it there. Look at what happened in Lagos. The deputy governor of Lagos State came up and said, oh, this gentleman who is calling himself ABCD collected money from me. He was live on the television. So the same fellow was now trying to vie for a position. People wrote petition to the party. It was considered and an appropriate decision was taken. This is a party that has rules and regulations and laws. Don't let them take any laws into their hands. If you have a man, if you're at a meeting, if you have a meeting and you are discussing, and somebody just came with certain unfounded rumor that cannot be defended, everybody will know. And in BOT, we do not do any election to elect people as chairman or secretary. It is through discussion. Because once you start doing election within the place, you create friction. If we are tired of the chairman or the secretary or something, it will be debated openly and will be eased out. That is because as the custodian of the party, the morality of the party, the characterization of the personnel and members of the party, that is why we hold it in trust. And I am happy that the first hurdle has been cleared by the BOT. They listened to A, they listened to B. They were not partisan. It's as the result of that report, they took a decision. And I has stated, oh, I've written a letter to the Supreme Court. Fine. If the Supreme Court comes with a counter decision of what we have taken, we will abide by that.
Chief Judge,
until then, I am asking everybody to be calm.
On a final note, Chief Judge, the Chief Tom Ikimi Disciplinary Committee has set ball rolling, and they have invited a few people. And there are petitions. Someone like the former governor of Benue State, Samuel Autumn, is going to be facing that panel. You know, when you hear the disciplinary, the reconciliation, Prince Olagusoye Oyinlola's committee is also there to reconcile the party. Chief Tom Ikimi's committee to discipline and listen to the But this is not the first time. The Ekweremadu committee had been set up. There are committees upon committees or committees that have been set up. The story of the PDP is like the story of Nigeria. We hear a lot of committee and nothing ever happens. So the question is that where lies the interest of the average PDP member in all of this? Will these work?
Now, I want to plead with everybody on all sides. As an elder, as one of those who were elected at the very first elective convention of the party in December 1999. This is not the time to use the party structure to throw people under the train. No. No. I will not agree, because when you saw the list of the names of some of the people who are now going to do disciplinary action or disciplinary action, we got to be careful. Would the man come into, they say when you come to equity, you come with clean hands. We know those who have been A or B or C or D, but there are still people in the party, elders in the party, that can wade in and resolve this crisis without thinking, by sending them before we have crossed the first hurdle, and the BOT still has the responsibility to ensure that justice, fairness, and equity will be the tripod of this party. I want to plead with them. Don't start rocking the ship. The ship is already in a storm, and if we are not careful, we will become a rudderless ship. And you know what happens to a rudderless ship? It will go down. Because it will be uncontrollable. I want to plead with everybody. All this, Autumn is being invited for questioning, that is being invited. There were people who had behaved worse than Autumn. This is the time for the chairman of the BOT and the other elders of the BOT. There are permanent members of BOT, and there are people who are just there who are not permanent members. Let us behave as defined in the Constitution.
All right.
We are the custodian of the characterization, the morality of the members of the party, and we must remain like that. This is not the time yet. We should set up a committee and we can look at it. This is not the first time we will go into this kind of a crisis. You remember the time when one of our governors was kidnapped? They yanked him off his seat and said he was missing. They have impeached him. They took him away. I was sent to go and get involved in it, and we were able to get him back. We were able to resolve the crisis. So please, I am begging the people. This nation needs a robust opposition that will keep the members in government on their toes.
All right.
That is what Nigerians expect. But that because we have this crisis, the wind of change is just at the top of the tree, shaking. The tap roots are well embedded and solid like gold.
All right.
We are not like any other political party. This is the only national party, the golden party of this country. And we will get over that.
Yeah. Chief Olabode George, since 2015, your party has been nursing a bloody nose from that defeat from the election, and it's not gotten its balance. The center is not holding, and I wish you and your political party the very best. Thank you so much indeed. It's always a pleasure having you on the program.
My pleasure always, but let me say this. There is no organization in the world that will not have one crisis or the other at one time or the other. But the ability to handle and resolve the crisis will be a measure of their competence. We are going to deliver that to Nigerians.
Thank you, Chief Judge.
Thank you.
Maybe you should take the complaint of the crisis of your party to FCCPC.